Good afternoon, Blue Jay fans and Mariners fans. It is ALCS game day. And before we go into it, I just want to wish everybody, whether you're Canadian and American, I know American Thanksgiving isn't this weekend, but for us Canadians, it is this weekend, and I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving from my family to yours. Hopefully it's an awesome weekend for the Blue Jays, but also, regardless, with your family and friends around. Hopefully you guys have an awesome next couple of days here and enjoy the long weekend. All right, let's break this puppy down because the Blue Jays and Mariners are about to embark on yet another playoff series. This time, though, it ain't the wild card series. It ain't the Mariners getting into the postseason for the first time in God knows how long. It's not the Blue Jays getting into the postseason for the first time since what? The 2020 season, where it was a stupid COVID year, the first time I had fans in the stands for a playoff game since 2016. No. However, it is the first time the Mariners have been in the ALCS in, 20-odd years. It's the first time the Blue Jays have been in the ALCS since 2016. Both of these teams deserve to be here. In my opinion, the two best teams in the American League. I don't care what Yankee fans have to say. These are the two best teams in the American League. They should be meeting in the ALCS, and they are. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, we've all seen the news by now that Bo Bichette is not on the roster. Now, it's been circling around Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. We've all seen the video by now where Bo runs to second, hits the bag, and immediately grimaces, doesn't look good. And I thought to myself, he's not playing. Because let's say he did make the roster and they're like, well, we really want his bat in the lineup, or we want his bat as a pinch hit option, or something like that. What if he then just can't go? You take him off the roster, he is ineligible for the World Series. Now, I'm not saying the Blue Jays are going to the World Series because this is far from a certainty whatsoever, but you lose that option in its entirety. And he's clearly not healthy. So don't do it. And they don't. So they look, because when would Game 7 be if that ends up happening? Just over a week. So Monday, October 20th would be Game 7. And so you got over a whole week. Again, if he's available for the World Series, maybe you just put him on the roster to get the bat in there, because even if he can't play and you have to take him off, whatever, there's nothing after that. So I don't know what's going to end up happening, but regardless, all we know is that Bo Bichette is not on the roster, and we'll talk about the roster in a short second here. But let's quickly preview. Game 1 is going to be at 8:03 tonight. Game 2 is 5:03 tomorrow early evening. Now, we don't have times yet for the games in Seattle, but that's Wednesday. So the Tuesday off day, then we get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Seattle. So it's a 2-3-2 format. And then you get the off day Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, October 20th would be in Toronto for Game 7 if necessary. So that's what we got for the series. Now, let's break down the roster for both teams. Wow, I bit my tongue. For both teams. Let's go to the Seattle Mariners first, all right? So for Seattle, their roster, Edward Brisardo. This is all their pitchers, by the way. Matt Brash, Canadian boy. Luis Castillo, Caleb Ferguson, Logan Gilbert, Emerson Hancock, Luke Jackson, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, Andres Munoz, Gabe Spire, Carlos Vargas, and Brian Wu is on the roster. I've been seeing all over socials that it sounds like he'll be back more mid-series, which for Jays fans, you're like, crap. But we'll see. Their infielders, J.P. Crawford, Josh Naylor, Jorge Polanco, Leo Rivas, and Eugenio Suarez. Outfielders, Randy Arozarena, Dominic Canzone, Victor Robles, and Julio Rodriguez. And infielder/outfielder, Miles Mastrobuoni, and catchers are obviously Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, Mitch Garver, and the young fella, Harry Ford. So there's their roster. Tell me what you think about it. Where do you think you see some holes? I think, again, they have an incredible roster. That rotation is scary. The power potential is scary with Julio, with Big Dumper, with Randy, with Josh Naylor. I know those, and Jorge Polanco obviously hit 2 bombs off of Tarek Skubal in the last round. So, and then obviously walked it off in the last game in that marathon. So it's a good squad. I think this team is definitely better than the Yankees were. Jays fans, don't expect the 10-1 win every game. Okay? These are going to be tight games. If you watch that Tigers series, expect games like that. It's going to be tight. It's going to be rough to watch, but that's playoff baseball. Now, let's get to your Toronto Blue Jays roster and see what's going on. Because obviously with Bo Bichette not on the roster, that does change some things. However, where are we here? Obviously we knew pitching things were going to change. So let's start with that. So, Chris Bassett is on the roster. Shane Bieber, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Braden Fisher, Mason Fluharty, Kevin Gausman, Jeff Hoffman, Eric Lauer, Brendan Little, Yara Rodriguez, Max Scherzer is on the roster, Louis Varland, and Trey Savage. Kind of what we all saw coming. You bring in the length of Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer for whatever Game 4, Game 5 shenanigans you're going to have to play. Game 4, you'll have to play. And they take off Tommy Nance and Justin Brule. We kind of saw that coming. And it's just nice to have some more length because we saw how that bullpen day went with guys who didn't have any length. And I'm guessing pretty much the infielders and outfielders stay the same. You got Kirky and Heineman behind the dish. You got Barger, Ernie, Andres Jimenez, Vladdy, and IKF on the infield. Nathan Lucas, Anthony Santander, Davis Schneider, George Springer, Miles Straw, and Dalton Varsho rounds out the roster for your Toronto Blue Jays. All I got to say is this, guys. Win a series. Because I looked at it this way, Jays fans. Now, Mariner fans, I guess you guys are going to look at it differently. Like, hey, you guys have this magical run, great trade deadline. You walk off a 15-inning ball game, you think it's the team of destiny. I get it. I 100% get it. If you're the Toronto Blue Jays right now, the talk is about exercising demons, right? You beat the Yankees in the first series you've ever faced the New York Yankees. Sorry, guys. Just going to blow my nose here. A little professional. There we go. This is why I don't edit videos for you guys. So it's all authentic quality. Good or bad. Right. So if you're the team of destiny, if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you beat the New York Yankees. You beat your division rival. The team that everybody wants to see lose. You did it. In convincing fashion. In the next series, you got the team that eliminated you back in 2022, who pretty much ended Alek Manoah's career, let's be honest. That playoff start, where there's no pressure, where pressure is what you put in your tires or whatever it was, he said before the series, then got clunked. Then the year after that, he was pathetic. And then we obviously know Tommy John, and then now he's with the Atlanta Braves. So it all kind of tailspinned after that start. We obviously know that the one of the biggest collapses in Jays franchise history, if not the worst. And yeah, Toronto sports are used to that. So we all know what happened back in 2022. And the Bo Bichette and the George Springer colliding into each other and the whole thing was a debacle. You have a chance to exercise those demons in this series. And God forbid this team makes the World Series. You have a chance to knock out Shohei Ohtani, the guy who didn't want to sign with this team, the chartered plane, all this stuff. You could exercise all the demons possible, which would be crazy. Now, not saying it's going to happen because baseball's weird. Bad. We watched them win a 15-inning ball game in extra innings. No, that is extra innings. We watched them in a 15-inning ball game to move on to the ALCS. The Blue Jays dominated the Yankees in a bullpen game to move on. Baseball's weird. You never know what's going to happen. You can predict. You can look at the odds. You can look at the stats, the khakis, all that. Sure. Watch the game, nerd, because it's going to be different. All right? And the keys to victory for your Toronto Blue Jays, it's the offense. I look at Seattle's offense, and they weren't great against the Detroit Tigers. I didn't think they had a prolific offense in that series whatsoever. I'm just trying to look at what they did. They scored 3 runs. They scored 8 in Game 2, 3 and 2. They scored more than 4 runs, or more than 3 runs, once in that series, and that was in Game 2. If you're the Blue Jays and you can hold the Seattle offense down, and the Jays can do their thing, because you're going to get the strikeouts. The Mariners strike out. And the Blue Jays know how to capitalize on that. They did with the Yankees. But the offense. Can the offense keep the consistency, keep the confidence against that really good pitching staff? We'll see. Really? I mean, can Vladdy have another monumental series? Can George Springer, who, let's be honest, the team had a great offensive series with Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement, Vladdy, Kirky even. George Springer had a down series. Can he be the guy? Because that's what we've seen all year with this team. When one guy's not going, someone else is. And every time you count them out, they come back at you. So never count this Blue Jays team out. And let's go out there and punch a ticket to the World Series, shall we? It's going to be fun. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for tonight, because how are you not? Smack that like button. I do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. You guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the series, keys to victory for your Toronto Blue Jays, and if you're a Mariner fan, key to victories for the Mariners. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below, so follow up there if you haven't done so already, and I will talk to you guys, of course. I'll be here tomorrow afternoon, Leafs edition, 2 o'clock puck drop at home against the Detroit Red Wings there for game 3 of the season. I'll be here Raptors edition, 3 o'clock tip-off today before the Jays game starts. 3 o'clock tip-off in D.C. against the Wizards for game 4 of the preseason. And for your Toronto Blue Jays, I'll talk to you guys tonight, 8:03 first pitch at the Ruckus Rogers Center for game 1 of the ALCS against the Seattle Mariners. Cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for tonight. Talk to you guys then.